What if I told you that the town of Greenville, Tennessee was home to Davy Crockett, President Andrew Johnson, and since 2002, the band Perry. But it's also home to one of the most haunted inns in Tennessee. Welcome to Ghosts of Tennessee, and this is the haunted General Morgan Inn. The building, now known as the General Morgan Inn, started out as a wooden structure built in the early 1790s by William Dunwoody, and it was called the Dunwoody Tavern. It would offer food, supplies, and lodging to travelers traveling the Great Wagon Trail, which would eventually become U.S. Highway 321. Over the years, the Dunwoody Tavern's operators and its name would change several times. From the late 1820s to the 1860s, the establishment was known as Bell Tavern, and it was advertised as a public house at the Sign of the Bell in Greenville and operated by William K. Vance. It was then purchased by Joshua Lane, who would own and operate the tavern during the Civil War, when it was commonly known as the Lane House. As the Lane House, the tavern hosted friend and foe of both the Union and Confederate armies. But on the morning of September the 4th, 1864, guests of the tavern witnessed one of Greenville's most notorious skirmishes, the result of which would lead to one of the hauntings of the nearby General Morgan Inn. You see, the evening before, a Confederate general, nicknamed the Thunderbolt of the Confederacy, would arrive in town. He had arranged to stay at the home of his friend, Mrs. Catherine Williams, who lived at 108 North Irish Street, just steps away from the rear of the Lane House. But earlier, on the morning of the 4th, Joshua's wife, who was a Union sympathizer, reportedly spotting Confederate General John Hunt Morgan as he tried to escape Union soldiers and pointed out his hiding place. And the Union soldiers couldn't wait to capture Morgan. You see, the Williams house was in the middle of the town, but it was surrounded by a garden, large trees, and a vineyard. General Hunt, learning that he had been discovered, planned to use this cover for his escape with the help of Catherine and her family, of course. Hunt proceeded to exit the house and make a run for the stables, hoping to flee the scene on horseback. Having no idea he was far outnumbered, he was ambushed and shot dead. His body would be interred twice before finally being buried in his final resting place in his hometown of Lexington, Kentucky, in Lexington Cemetery. And some paranormal investigators speculate that this may be the cause for his unrest. In the 1880s, the Dunwoody Tavern was purchased by Colonel John H. Doughty. Colonel Doughty, recognizing the need for an excellent hotel to accommodate the many railroad travelers, demolished the original Dunwoody Tavern and began construction of a new 4-story brick structure that would become the historic 60-room Grand Central Hotel. And in 1920, Mrs. E.J. Brumley purchased the hotel and began full operation of the newly renamed Hotel Brumley. And in 1948, Judd Brumley opened the General Morgan Room, a supper club-style private dining area adjacent to the main dining room on the first floor. The General Morgan Room was an instant success and quickly became the region's most popular and prestigious location for formal affairs. In 1981, the Hotel Brumley would close, and for many years the hotel would sit vacant. And after 9 years of planning and fundraising, the restored General Morgan Inn and Conference Center opened for business in September of 1996. But what about the ghosts? Well, legend has it that the inn is haunted by not one, not two, but 40 spirits. And yes, I said 40. The staff of the hotel have named a few of the spirits here: Green Room Grace, Front Desk Bill, and even General Morgan himself. Grace, a former server, is seen every day by staff of the restaurant. The spirit is notorious for stealing silverware. Spoons, to be exact. And the strangest part, she only takes spoons from a preferred setting, the Green Room, hence the name, Green Room Grace. The hotel has even had to order spoons more often than other silverware, because once Grace takes them, they never turn up again. Grace is also known for messing with the paintings on the walls at night, making sure they're crooked by morning. And Grace has made it known to some guests that she's been haunting the hotel for over 75 years, along with 9 other ghosts surrounding her. One of Grace's spectral friends was spotted by staff in the kitchen, which is a paranormal hotspot itself. Heavy objects are known to move and fly across the room by themselves, and large metal serving trays fly off of the ovens, and apparitions are seen moving about almost daily. Next to the General Morgan Inn is the former Depot Street Hotel. It's been sitting abandoned for decades, but the front desk is still in operation by a former employee of the hotel, a spirit by the name of Bill. According to investigators of the Depot Street Hotel, Bill is accompanied by 26 other spirits and is happy to be haunting the desk. You'll have to ask the staff at the General Morgan Inn in Greensville about him when you visit. But back on the inn's second floor, John Hunt Morgan haunts with a vengeance. Hunt, who refused to be photographed without his general's hat, haunts the finest suite of the inn, the presidential suite, where his photo hangs on the wall, and guests have reported screaming coming from the room, even calling the front desk to report incidents. The staff has learned to tell them they'll handle it, but they know that the room is empty. And in attempts to communicate with the spirit of room 207, the ghost stated that it was shot in the back and had died on the premises. Sounds an awfully lot like the general, doesn't it? And what are the other ghosts that roam the halls of the General Morgan Inn? Some spend their time riding the elevator. The doors open and close as if someone has called them when no one is around. And others have been spotted lounging at Brumley's next door. And one is even seen quite often sitting at a booth reading his newspaper. So what do you think? Would you spend a night at the General Morgan Inn? Maybe Front Desk Bill will check you in, and Green Room Grace will let you keep your spoon this time. Hope you all enjoyed it.